Today I'm going to show you how to change oil on a Infiniti QX60 all year models, and this is fully applicable to a Nissan Pathfinder and may be applicable to other vehicles with the VQ35DE V6 gasoline engine. Before I start, it was interesting to find that the dealership that I bought the car from does not use the recommended oil in the owner's manual. They use the 5W30, which is alternative and okay, but they don't even have the option of using a 0W20. Before you start, make sure you read the owner's manual procedure for oil change and make sure that you note some key specifications such as the drain plug tightening torque and the wheel nut tightening torque. It's always a good habit to make sure you read the owner's manual every time. Let's look at the tools needed for the job. First, a ramp, a solid one. Mine is a 6-ton ramp. 5 and 8 quarts of 0W20 fully synthetic motor oil, and then drain pan to collect the old oil. Make sure you get a 7-quart drain pan, and then an oil filter with the part number there, and a copper drain plug gasket. You could get both of these at the Nissan dealership or Infiniti dealership. A funnel with a long neck, and then a oil filter wrench. This is important. Make sure you follow these instructions. You need one with a strap or a actual wrench. Do not get one with the teeth on them. That'll bend the oil filter. And you need a ratchet and a 40mm socket for drain plug. An impact wrench is optional. 21mm socket to remove the tires, and then a lug nut wrench. You can find this in the car, and a torque wrench. 25 foot-pound torque for the drain plug and 83 foot-pounds for the tire lug nut. If your torque wrench is 1/2 inch, you might need a 1/2 inch to a 3/8 adapter, and some clips for the oil filter panel just in case. You can get these at the dealership. So first, get the car on the ramp. And then locate the drain plug. Here's a picture of the location. You can find it on the owner's manual also. So we're gonna loosen the drain plug with a ratchet. Don't use a torque wrench to loosen. It's meant to only tighten. So make sure the oil pan can catch the oil. And make sure to clean up any spill immediately, or else the concrete will be stained. It's hard to get rid of that. So here's the drain plug. As you can see, the washer is crushed, and yeah, just make a note of how the washer is installed. It's very important. Here's a time lapse of the oil drain, total of 45 minutes, and this is sped up 64 times, and I mean the oil kept dripping even after 45 minutes. I don't know how they do the 10-minute oil changes. So this is the drain plug gasket installed on the bolt. You screw it in and take a note of the notch that needs to be in contact with the bolt. So you wipe clean any leftover oil and then hand tighten it. Make sure you don't use a wrench or anything. If you do, you might strip the screw and it's going to be a big pain. Set the torque wrench to 25 foot-pounds and tighten until click is heard. If you want, you can double and triple check. The next step is to take the vehicle off the ramp. But how do you start without the oil? So you shift to neutral and push off the ramp. But you can shift while the engine is off. So what do? There is a shift lock near the gear shifter. So open the cover, insert a screwdriver, and then shift to neutral. And then have someone push the car while you have the car on neutral. And be careful because there's no hydraulics without the engine, so you have to press hard on the brake. And make sure there's nothing behind the car. Next step is to take the tire off to access the oil filter panel. And when you take the tire off, make sure you follow a star pattern as I'm doing. That's the pattern that is going to ensure minimal stress on the rotors. And you need to jack up the car. So according to the manual, that is a good spot to put the floor jack. And put the jack stands on the pinch weld. So first the car is jacked up, and then the jack stand is placed on the pinch weld. So here's a description on the factory service manual on where the floor jack and the jack stand need to be placed. So next step is to open up the panel. So there's 4 tabs or clips that need to be removed. You remove the panel. And actually when I did this, I lost one of the clips. I'm glad I had backup. Using the oil filter wrench, remove the old oil filter and make sure you have the drain pan to collect any oil. There's going to be a lot of oil pouring down. Let the oil fully drain and then clean up any mess. So before you install the new oil, you apply some oil around the seal ring and then put it on. You start screwing and get it as tight as you can with your hand. Use a cloth and then do like a half turn with the wrench. Now the wrench I had was for a Toyota, so it's a little bit loose, so I'm not too afraid of using it. So here's the technique to put the clips on using 2 fingers. Put the panel back and then time to pour some new oil. Pour 5 quarts of oil, and then once you're done, make sure you put the cap off, otherwise you're going to be spilling a whole bunch of oil when you turn on the car. Clean up any mess. And then this is the procedure. You let the engine warm up, then turn it off and wait at least 10 minutes. Remove the dipstick and wipe it clean. I've already done it here. And then reinsert it and check the oil level. So I'm at about a little over the lower level, so I need to pour some more. So once that's done, I'm all good.